Filming the under 23s, is that what this is? Is that just you one of the teams, or is this like football? But you don't do the 18s.
Testing, 1, 2, okay, good. Okay, testing, 1, 2. It's my normal volume. Have I got room to go up? Yeah, good. We go, so if I go up a little bit louder like this, and then, yeah, that's fantastic. Is this real? No, it's not. Ah.
Watching it all year. I just arrived here about half an hour ago.
So it was also the chorus when they were So you guys are coming in the 23. She was going to be there with her.
Oh, why did you?
She's a doctor. So she's in her fifth of 8 years as a doctor. She couldn't take the 2 weeks off. But she just was their doctor. They thought.
Oh, but don't they keep
Yeah, and she went in her probably fifth year. So she described it as a mix between schoolies week and a senior. Now, schoolies takes a little more time than many schools. So it's like
and now Wednesday. We need to go forward. Yeah, we need to go forward there.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. It's been the week or the weekend for grand finals, and we've got another one here at Valentine Sports Park, the NPL Women's New South Wales Under-23 Championship game between the Premiers, Gladesville Ravens, and Sydney University. It's Eric Subihano here on the mic in Glenwood. We're looking forward to this one. Been delighted to get another grand final assignment. And I was lucky enough to see both semi-finals when they were played here 8 days ago. Some great football on show in the under-23s. The next generation is looking bright, and we should have a fitting conclusion to what's been another thrilling season, or shall we say, the second oldest age group in NPL Women's New South Wales. For Gladesville Ravens, 5-0 winners over Northern Tigers in their semi-final. They make one change from their semi-final lineup, and it's a keeper swap with Eliza Coleman, number 1, going into goal. And the rest of that lineup, we expect a back four of number 29, Ellie Smythe, number 15, Harriet Johnson, number 24, Poppy Channing, and number 42, Alethea Levy. In central midfield, number 19, Natalie Sproul, and number 16, the captain, Sophie Clark. And a kind of a band of 3 attacking midfielders in front of them. Number 5, Charlotte Wilford Carroll. Number 7, Cordavia, and number 25, Eliza Hamilton. And up front, it's the Ravens' top scorer with 12 goals for the season. Number 17 is Kaylee Shannon. The Ravens are coached by Andrew Mastoris. And Ravens wearing their usual white and black kit, while for Sydney Uni in their iconic blue and gold playing kit. I won't hazard a guess at their lineup because they've actually made 5 changes from their semi-final win, 4-2 in extra time over Western Sydney Wanderers. Well, we do know that number 1, Bailey Broomhead, is in goal. And number 8, Madison Van Dyke. Number 11, Juliana Nicholas. Number 17 is the captain, Emily Brewster. Number 22, Kiara Benora. Number 23, Letitia Zek. Number 29, Noor Hijazi. Number 30, Isabella Rad. Number 35 is Georgia Lim. Number 40, Elizabeth Bieri. And number 62 is Tiana Petkovsky, and that would be Van Dyke, Benora, former Raven, by the way, started the season with Ravens, but yes, Van Dyke, Benora, Hijazi, Lim, and Petkovsky coming into the Sydney Uni lineup for this grand final. So a quick shout out to the third team, the match officials. So in the center with the whistle, Nina Cortese. Assistant nearest to us is Grace Williams. The assistant on the scoreboard side, as there's the whistle, away we go. Assistant on the far side is Isabella Vitkovsky, and today's fourth official is Alana Zick. So, as it's a strong challenge from Levy to start before it breaks for Channing and then out of play. And if you're wondering what that stuff on the field is, well, is generally the case with Football New South Wales Grand Finals. This is just but one of the games being played at Valentine Sports Park today. The action started very early on, I think 8:15 with the Under-14s Grand Final. But just before us, it was Arpia Leichhardt defeating Manly United with a last-minute goal in extra time, and someone had done, well, I don't think it was a Gatorade dump, someone had dumped ice from their esky onto one of the Arpia coaches, and so they led to Arpia staff hurriedly clearing it so we could get this game underway. So yes, the under-18s went to extra time as there's a battle on the far side of the field. Via getting involved for the Ravens, but as Kaylee Shannon puts pressure on, and Shannon, a fierce competitor, we've seen that previously. Kaylee Shannon has League One women's experience with both Blacktown City and Hills United before joining the Ravens for the start of this season. But back in case the reason this was delayed by almost half an hour, both the under-16s grand final and the under-18s grand final in Girls Youth League before this one both went to extra time, but at least we're underway now. And it's Via cutting inside, looking for the through ball. It is intercepted. And Eliza Hamilton with her hands up in the air briefly, and then a run by Hamilton. She tries the through ball. It's blocked or tried again, and Clark now stands it up looking left towards Charlotte Wilford Carroll, who opened the scoring in the Ravens semi-final win. The goal very, very early on, and Charlotte Wilford Carroll is known for scoring the odd long-range bomb with her left foot, so let's see if that's something that happens today, because that's how she opened the scoring 8 days ago in the semi-final. All right, there are two benches. So firstly, for the Ravens, Michaela Kent is, after keeping a clean sheet in the semi-final, she's the substitute keeper. We could also see the Ravens bring on later Elizabeth Gilbane. Australia Denby, who, by the way, was the player of the match in the League One Women's First Grade Grand Final in 2022. And there's also Maya Braun, Annabelle Garbash, Lebanese Youth International, and Monique Lekas. Sydney Uni, Hannah Callahan is the backup keeper. The other players we could see later in blue and gold: Sarah McKenzie, Grace Cho-Treganza, Riley Carr, and Annabella Vasconcelos. As Hamilton, it'll cut back, and a very determined shout from Sproul, but she did not get the ball. She was in a good shooting position as Uni clear, and Eliza Coleman will settle things down and use the gloves for the first time to date. So it is a big grand final weekend, as I said. And, I mean, on one hand, I'd like as much drama as we saw in the NPL Women's First Grade Grand Final yesterday. And congratulations to Bulls FC Academy, coming from behind twice to defeat Apia Leichhardt 4-3 after extra time. As there's a header from Smythe on the far side before, well, not really cleared. It could be an early Uni chance, but it's a good intervention from Poppy Channing. But, yes, on one hand, I would like to call a game like that. On the other hand, I'm not sure my vocal cords and my throat can handle it. But I'm still waiting for my throat loss and sponsorship, which after 6 years hasn't happened yet. But I'll keep trying. Now it's Uni keeping it in the far corner. It's hooked to, I was about to say into the box, not really, more up than forward from a Uni perspective. And then that's the clearance. And I think Channing's had a few good clearances early on. Some strong defensive showing, which is, of course, much desired in such a big occasion. As Hamilton not able to pick up on that one. I think that's Letitia Zek on the left-hand side for Sydney Uni. Levy, well, a strong challenge early on, and another strong challenge right in front of the Uni technical area. Results in a free kick to the students. Now I'll flag my long-standing issue with the Sydney Uni kit, as lovely as it is. White numbers being quite hard to see on the yellow portions of this. On the yellow portions of that really striking playing strip, as Hijazi chases one, and Channing trying to get in the way, not really succeeding. Hijazi on the left side and wins the first corner of the game. And yes, it's Sydney Uni, the white on the gold parts of the jersey, hard to see. At least there's some kind of black outline on those numbers, so at least a little bit easier than it has been in previous years. Low corner to the near post, and some semi-cleared, but still in the box. And then Ravens needing a few touches, and they still haven't really cleared it. Hijazi might get another touch. And it's Wilfred Carroll back defending before Levy's had enough of that and sends it over the sideline. Well, that's while I'm talking about the weekend's action, Football New South Wales. Just a quick news round. Of course, RPL Leichhardt was successful in the NPL Men's New South Wales Grand Final, defeating Rockdale Illingdon by 2-1. And then massive scenes in the League One Men's and League Two Men's promotion relegation playoff with an extra time goal. And what a goal it was from a long way out, giving Prospect United a 4-3 aggregate win over Bonnyrigg White Eagles. So there we go, Prospect United into League One Men's, into the second tier, while Bonnyrigg dropped down to the third tier for 2026. And of course, pending all the usual box ticking that comes up with these kinds of things at this time of year. But back to the action. And Wilfred Carroll trying direct. Now Shannon is quick, but not quite quick enough. And that's an easy take for Bailey Broomhead. So I mentioned Ravens winning 5-0 in the semi-final 8 days ago. And scintillating performance. And 5 different goal scorers as well. It was Charlotte, Wilfred Carroll, Kaylee Shannon, Eliza Hamilton, Maya Braun, and Annabelle Garbach on the score sheet. And their previous game. And while I was trying to watch 2 games at once, Gladesville Ravens playing their semi on Field 2, Sydney Uni on Field 3, which is to the right of our filming position. Sydney Uni showed great resilience after falling behind, I think, in the opening minute to the Wanderers. And as I said, eventually winning 4-2 after extra time. That was an exciting run from Hamilton. Slowed down by a good tackle. And then Uni reeled it back in on the far side, and now trying to use that far side. Trying to sneak between defenders there. Might be Petkovsky. Good body strength. Cross is blocked, and it's the second corner of the game already. I think Ravens, Hamilton will track back to use her height in a defensive sense. And it's only Shannon forward. So here's the in-swinger. High, and keeper stays on the line. Again, Ravens need a couple of touches, but in the end, Wilfred Carroll hooks it out of the area. Uni in the center circle. I thought about a switch there. Or Zek goes to Hijazi. Back to Zek. Broomhead goes long. And Ravens take over with Wilfred Carroll looking for Shannon once again. The bounce might favour Shannon. She did get a little prod on it, but it's an easy save for Broomhead. Now, at the other end, and Levy just lets it run over the sideline. As Levy throws it down the line, bounce favours Van Dyke. Now Hijazi. Or it's Channing, and then Johnson to play it into Uni territory. Of course, so sneak in a quick little plug for the game. And we've got another stream. It's well, no, of course, extra time in the girls' youth league grand finals, so they've kind of thrown off the schedule. It's always the way with grand finals, but yeah, after this game on the same field, and also on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel, just open a new tab in your browser, or however you choose to view these games. It's the NPL Men's Under-20 Grand Final between RPL Leichhardt and Marconi Stallions. And I believe it's MC extraordinaire James Preston with the commentary for that one. Now, strong challenge for Benora there, but the officials see everything's okay to continue, and then that, and despite I think it'll be Sophie Clark's protestations, it's an early yellow card. Oh no, apologies, it's not Sophie Clark. So I might need to wait for the play to turn around. Don't want to make 3 or 4 wrong guesses on this player. In fact, Ravens skipper Sophie Clark, I think, pointing out the earlier challenge, which wasn't punished. But as they say, ref's decision is final. The Ravens with the first yellow card of the game. So it's a free kick, more or less on halfway. Header from Channing, and another header from Hamilton. Yes, now I'm 99% sure, as there's another ball into the middle. Levy doesn't really deal with. And then, I suspect handball shouts from the Sydney Uni faithful, but he's cleared over the far sideline. I am now 99% sure that the player into the notebook was number 29, Ellie Smythe for Ravens. And there's Smythe with the foot in again. But not able to properly take it off Uni, who will keep it in the far corner of the field. Spin there. And the delivery, and it might drop under the bar. Coleman had to be very alert. Not sure from Benora, the former Raven, if that was slightly mishit cross or a direct attempt at goal, but it had Coleman very alert. It does land on the roof of the net. Shannon battles for and wins possession. And then gives it straight away. So Uni again using the right-hand side across. And the lever again came at that awkward height, so it breaks for Hijazi. I think that deflected off Levy. And Brewster works it back. So Benora. Uni trying to play it out from back again. Decent flick from Hijazi, but Rad couldn't settle it. So it's Clark for Ravens finding Smythe. Via, little pocket of space, and he's looking to switch it, and that's too straight. Hamilton won't get on the end of that. So I mentioned it, did say Sydney Uni showed great resilience and conceded in the first minute to the Wanderers and a goal from Olivia Vanderlaan. They did recover from that in their semi-final against the Wanderers, 2-2 after 90 minutes, and then a 4-2 extra time win ended up being a double from Juliana Nicholas, plus goals from Juliet Harris and from Emily Brewster. and actually the Juliana Nicholas goal, that her second of hers that she scored in the semi-final, was in extra time. It put Sydney Uni 3-2 up, and it was a really spectacular goal from about 25 yards, cutting in from the right-hand side onto her left foot and finding the far top corner. So I wonder if he'll get the chance to try for a similar type of goal this afternoon. As Smythe goes for a longer range throw. Again, Hamilton's the target. Cleared. And it stays on the far side of the field, so an early test of my eyesight, but at least it's not a night game. Smythe warms up the shoulders once more. And a couple of headers to get it away from danger for Uni. Now Nicholas couldn't quite hold it up for her teammates, but it might settle for Brewster. And now Hijazi looks up, looking for Nicholas, but it's a strong tackle from Levy. And Levy, well, she did find Shannon. It will go back for a free kick and the foul called against Hijazi. Oh, Levy decides to go direct. Now Shannon can't pick up the second ball. Another touch coming up for Levy. And here's Sproul. Channing looking wide. Couldn't find Wilfred Carroll, though. Wilfred Carroll hasn't given up. Ravens go left. Shannon keeps it in play and rides the challenge. So Shannon crosses with the right foot. And Via, free header. Didn't really get the contact required to trouble Broomhead, who distributes quickly to Hijazi. And one good run from Nicholas. And Nicholas, left the ball behind her. That's unfortunate. She was sneaking between the fullback and the centre back there. Now, well, this could be an awkward one, and Hamilton's taken over. And Hamilton beats two. So, sets it up for Shannon, and Kaylee Shannon is denied by a sensational last-ditch tackle from Elizabeth Vieri. It's the first Ravens corner of the game. And I've just seen in there's a Ravens fan base in that corner of the ground. The smartest people here, they picked the shadiest and therefore coolest part of Valentine Sports Park. Also the way they're looking as the corner comes in, and it might be over everyone. That pocket of Ravens fans won't be bothered by the setting sun because corner comes to nothing.
Let's go, Unit!
Broomhead goes long. Well, it's Clark trying to play it forward, but I think as Vio dropped deep. Now Vio trying to press Benora. The clearance, it goes out. Another tackle from Benora. And then the 19th minute with the scores at 0-0. Neither keeper really tested as of yet. There was a speculative Kiara Benora effort from near the halfway line, which landed on the roof of the net. At the other end, uni keeper Bailey Broomhead. So to deal with a few things, but nothing to stretch her too much. Now forward, and there's a foot in there from Johnson. Now it's V, I think, with the quick feet. The support comes from Sproul. It's one back. I've got to apologise for mispronunciation. I am to hear it. Okay, so I've just learned to pronounce Natalie Sproul. Okay, thanks. Good to know for next time. And even the remainder of this game. As Nicholas goes in, that's quite late, I think. Or, well, actually, no, ball had already gone out of play, so... Nicholas probably would have been considered to be late, but as I said, the ball had already gone out, so... It's going to be Lim with the throw, and that's out off Nicholas. Now, it's... Hamilton has been fouled, so... He had Brewster running forward for Uni, but the decision has gone the other way. You see a bit of reshuffle already up front for Sydney Uni, I see, as Levy goes long. Neat 1-2. Nicholas perhaps receiving some contact as she played the return pass, but the game does go on, and it's Wilfred Carroll for Ravens forced backwards before Johnson goes long and I think into the space that Wilfred Carroll had just vacated. It's just a bit of an awkward one for Benora. And into the fence. Down the left, Shannon. Uni double up on her. And cross comes in. Via can't quite get the flick. A couple of touches and out, but another chance for Ravens to put on some pressure. 22nd minute here. A 0-0 between Ravens and Sydney Uni. NPL Women's Under-23 Grand Final. Thanks for joining us on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel as Lim slams it forward, and we'll find the teammate who's bounced left. That's Nicholas. I said Julianne Nicholas. I think she started centrally the way I saw things. Now she's moved to the left. Noor Hijazi has swapped from the left to the right. But as Uni can't create a real attack, there's Clark to play it forward. Now, it's going to be Sydney Uni interested, but Poppy Channing pretty easily escorting the ball over the byline for a goal kick as we're midway through the first half. Hamilton's done well to win. I think a throw up against two players, some very close attention. And Levy perhaps rushed the throw in a little bit as he tried to go down the line. Now Rad, one to chase, that's Petkovsky. Petkovsky, and not getting anything out of Channing. In fact, Channing has got the last touch off the Uni player for a throw-in, so it's excellent defending. Tatiana Petkovsky playing under 23s today. Also a fair bit of first-grade experience. Tatiana Petkovsky previously, I think last season, of playing for University of New South Wales before swapping one Uni team for another. Brewster tries the ball. That's too straight and easy for Coleman. These two teams, as the Raven subs, warm up for the first time, and I think, well, we're thankful that it's not quite as warm as it was, especially for the under-16s and under-18s grand final. Temperature is, I think, starting to drop a bit. The breeze is also starting to pick up here, and there's a reason. This venue is known as the Wind Tunnel, Valentine Sports Park. That's a strong run, and it was Petkovsky for the ball. Okay, I think we're going to have to stop this just in case, just to make sure. Just to make sure, because Noor Hijazi looking very uncomfortable. And I think, will we see physio on, or... See what, well, she's at least sitting up, so that's good. And the signal, universal signal for water has been given. Now, interesting. Well, I think Uni possibly reluctant to bring a physio on, because that would have meant Hijazi meant to leave the field. Yeah, it looks like she's okay, but just in the end, they signal for water, but it was Juliana Nicholas who was trying to fetch the water. She took a quick drink for herself. I suppose you got to get that hydration where you can. Anyway, we're back underway, and it's still 11v11. Now, Levy's seeing that pass and has broken it up. Sproul. And back to Johnson. As Channing looks and straight through, bypassing a couple of uni plays. Shannon keeps it moving. Bit of room for Hamilton. Options gathering in the middle. And low cross, and it's Uni's there, possibly Benora. Read the intentions. Nicholas switching the focus. And Petkovsky facing some strong and fair attention from Smythe. Shannon again. And Shannon going to possibly move the ball away from Hamilton. He'd found more space nearest to us in the grandstand at Valentine Sports Park. Now it's Rad's turn to drift out left, but the ball's drifted too far left from a Uni perspective. So I mentioned earlier Juliana Nicholas scoring twice in the semi-final, so that was 2 of her 17 goal tally for the 2025 season. So it leads not just Sydney Uni in the goal scoring sense, but also the whole under-23 competition. And yeah, as I do my stats, my goal scorer stats before calling every game. Actually, this is the first time this happened, which is, as I said, I mentioned Chiara Bonora, who started the season with Ravens, then went to Sydney Uni, so therefore she appears on the stats page for both clubs. And that'll be a Uni goal kick. Now, unfortunate slip from Sproul, but she will get the ball back from Levy. She's up quickly. And Channing flicks off Brewster's head. I think that's Bieri, pressured by Wilfred Carroll. And then with a second chance to play a teammate. It's Van Dijk, and Van Dijk might have it stolen. Hamilton finding it centrally. Drift past the challenge and then tries from long range, and Broomhead relaxed enough to control with the foot first before picking it up. Now, it's a collision, so you'll see another stoppage. Now, I think by process of elimination, that's Cora Villa, who's took a heavy knock. Yes, Ravens physio will be on the field. The Raven subs back from their early warm-up, probably just a little bit of a loosener. It's good to see such a really large crowd here. Of course, Gladesville Ravens, you'd assume support to be fairly local to their home ground in Macquarie Park. Just a short trip down the M2 for them today. A little bit longer for Sydney Uni, but always good to see fans from the various clubs turn out for the grand final. Even when it's the non-Sydney based clubs. There's actually been here most of the day. There's a good turnout from the Hunter Valley for the Newcastle Jets, because their team was in the under 15 at the Girls Youth League under 15 grand final. They won the Battle of the Academies 2-1 over Western Sydney Wanderers. Back underway, and she's got to count the Ravens. I think they're... It might be short-handed, unless I've forgotten how to count. No, see, there we go. It's one player I couldn't quite see, but yes. Good to see after, certainly no, well, apart from the red cards, but I'll get back onto that in a bit, but I did see some heavy knocks, unfortunately, in the NPL Women's first grade grand final yesterday, so obviously hope to see none of the same here as Nicholas shoots and it bends away from the far post instead of toward the far corner. But there's that left boot of Juliana Nicholas. And I've seen a bit of that in first grade. And let's see if for Sydney Uni. But as Uni worked it from right to left, there's a tight-ish angle, but enough space for Nicholas to wind up. She had Eliza Coleman worried enough to dive. And while I'd like to finish that thought of what happened to the NPL women's, or some of the things, a few of the things that happened in the first grade grand final yesterday, but there's 5 forward in this attack for Raven, so we'll hold on. Via can turn. As the options kind of drift away from her, but she skips past the tackle, past Lim, but Lim will get back there to prevent the cross. Just briefly, yesterday's first grade final. Thoughts with Ashley Cross and Jess Seaman of RPL Leichhardt, who did have to be substituted with injury yesterday. Told that they are on the mend, which is the main thing. Brewster. Decent turn. High space to kind of drive left, but then undercooks the pass. Sproul. Couldn't find a teammate. Decent first touch from Nicholas. And Channing, who's proven to be difficult to beat, gets the better of Petkovsky in that duel. As Uni go back, then try to go forward. Decent switch out to the far side. I think that's Bieri. And then Bonora trying to keep it alive. Who does the bounce favour? Might favour Sydney Uni. Channing's in the way once again. Could be a big chance here. There's Petkovsky, and it's a good save from Coleman. Hijazi to shoot. Tipped up, and it goes in anyway. So Noor Hijazi has opened the scoring for Sydney Uni. The fingertips from the keeper, not enough. It's a big celebration. And Sydney Uni, well, Hijazi, what a time. Not many goals this season. That's her third of 2025 for the under-23s. It's by far the biggest goal she scored this season. She was alert enough to pick up the scraps on the edge of the box. Meanwhile, well, we could go on. Ravens have, well, now there's, of course, as Nino Cortese is saying, Ravens thought they could kick off with Sydney Uni still celebrating. Also, there is a common misconception, I think, of the laws of the game about where position the players are when you can restart, but Nino Cortese is not having any of that. So we'll have a more expected kickoff with the score Sydney Uni 1, Ravens 0. Now we're back underway. There's a header, I think, from Benora. Levy, good tackle. Breaks for Uni. Here's Rod. Nicholas will chase. So will Channing. Out. Now, it's unlike the semi. Sydney Uni have drawn first blood. And this is a position that I think the Ravens haven't been in much this season. The record is very impressive over the 27 games they've played so far this season. 21 wins if you include the semi-final last week. Only 2 draws, only 4 losses for the Ravens, so this will be a big test. I think they have the ability to keep their composure. Plenty of football left in this one, as about in the 37th minute now, with Sydney Uni leading by a goal to nil over Ravens. Settle for any player, this particular phase of play. Header from Wilfred Carroll, then Clark is up and forward. And Brewster, good body strength against Sproul, then Sproul gets the ball. With the ref giving the universal signal for. Got the ball by pointing at it, but an ill-placed pass. Uni at least able to clear into Ravens territory. Johnson pings it forward, and I think Ravens are really chasing because they know Broomhead was always the favourite for that one. So just look at the head-to-head between these two teams in round 11. Well, round 11 at the Sydney University football ground, but life really was a beach for the Ravens that day, as they won by 3 goals to nil in Camperdown. Goals from Shannon Clark and Lara Brewis. A more recent encounter, a 1-1 draw back in round 20. A 1-1 draw back in round 24 at the Arctic Circle. Coravia scored for the Ravens, and then a very late equaliser from Sarah Farrow, ensuring a 1-1 draw. Trying to build something. Far side. Turn there. I think that's Benora. Just found some room. Threads it through to Hijazi. Keeps it in. Delivers left-footed. Decent cross. It's just over Petkovsky. And then Ravens, well, actually, probably they had more time than might have looked from their angle. Ravens pretty coolly playing it out from the back. Now Wilfred Carroll. Wilfred Carroll trying to go direct, and with the little lunge, I think from Bieri, preventing it getting to Hamilton. Now, who does that break for? It's Channing once again. Uni, who may have 5 forward in this attack if they're quick enough, and Ravens only 6 back, with more arriving for both sides. Petkovsky. Nicholas, space to cross. She does get the head up, but then she tries to go direct, tried to catch the keeper out, and it hits the side netting. Now, the back pass, Shannon putting the pressure on before it's cleared by Broomhead. Now, Nicholas does just about bring it down under pressure from Clark. Now, Lim. And Nicholas couldn't find a way through. So, Levy for the Ravens, long to Hamilton. The bounce, well, Hamilton hasn't given up. Ball still with the Ravens. What are Sproul's options like? And it's too straight. And straight. Broomhead. I mentioned one of the grand finals that were played earlier today here at Valentine Sports Park Field 2. Might as well give a shout out to all the grand final winners and all the grand finalists from today. A great achievement, of course, to make it to the championship game of any season. So, Girls Youth League Under-14s, it was Western Sydney Wanderers defeating RPL Leichhardt by 3-1. As I said earlier, in the 15s, it was Newcastle Jets defeating Western Sydney Wanderers 2-1. In the under-16s, Western Sydney Wanderers defeated Manly United by 2-1 after extra time. And in the under-18s, game just before this one, very late goal from RPL Leichhardt, I think pretty much the last minute of extra time, securing a win for the Inner West side against Manly. I think that was 1-0 at the end. In the 18s before this one, but now under 23 is very much the focus, as Johnson Oh, kind of jogged possibly into trouble. And Johnson, I think she's done enough for her teammates to intervene via a little bit of a step over. Now she's going to hold down R2 and get around the defender. And there are two players in the middle. Does Via want to cross straight away? A couple of touches, and last touch off Via for the goal kick. Broomhead finds Brewster. And a spin from Van Dijk. Now it's Vieri. And long, can she drop it over the top? Could be a chance for Petkovski's round the keeper. Very tight angle. What are her options like? Little shimmy. Then she tries to cross towards Nicholas, and Channing is there. Hamilton straight into a uni player. Tell you what, unless I identified the uni formation incorrectly at the start, which to be fair is very possible. I think they might have shuffled things at the back as well. From the very early exchanges, it does look like it is Bonora and Zek in central defence now for Sydney Uni, and wide defenders being Vieri and Lim. And here's Lim, decent enough first touch, but then there's a divided the pressure there from Clark. They get it away. Now Brewster will chase and bypasses Levy. Now does Nicholas keep it in play? And no. I think a bit of an awkward tumble for Brewster, but she is okay. Sprout and Shannon. And Shannon now pressing. There's Van Dijk, but Van Dijk plays it straight to Sprout. Now Levy appears to have known that's backed up by the assistant nearest to us, Grace Williams. No touch from anyone means Ravens throw. And Dyke looks up now. It's, well, Hijazi just drifted infield for that phase of play, and then Van Dijk booted it straight over her head to where Hijazi would have been had she not drifted infield. Now, holding there. I think a foul called against Via. And Sydney Uni with a free kick. As we're just about to enter first half stoppage time, and don't usually remember to look at the fourth official for this, because I mean a lot of the games I call don't have a fourth official, but keep one eye on Alana Zick because the board's about to go up. You have the customary 60 seconds. Well, there could be a chance in those 60 seconds. Here's Nicholas, great save from Coleman. Nicholas nearly adding to her 17-goal tally for the 2025 season. Actually lucky because I remembered to look at the fourth official because I saw actually another of the long-time NPL New South Wales refs as Shannon, well, there we go, nominative determinism there from Bailey Broomhead being the sweeper keeper. And this first half is just about up. In fact, it is. So far at Sydney University teaching the footballing lessons. Because it is them, the team from Camperdown, who leads by 1-0 over Gladesville Ravens. It was Noor Hijazi with a smart shot from the edge of the box, looped up and over the keeper and in for the only goal of the game so far. But Gladesville Ravens are the premiers for a reason, and this one is far from over. Eric Subihano here with the commentary for the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. We're going to take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half.
Windows down white.
We're back for the second half of NPL Women's New South Wales Under-23 Grand Final coverage. Sydney Uni currently leading by a goal to nil over Gladesville Ravens. Have one last huddle and then for one final push to get back into this game as they chase a premiership and a championship double. I've kept eyes on the fourth official, Alana Zick. I don't think she's held up the board, so we're going to assume the teams are as they were to start the game. Also, I do regret to inform you, and it's something I realized pretty much as soon as I got here and I didn't have time to go back home. I've left my sunglasses at home, and if you've ever watched a late afternoon game here at Valentine Sports Park, oh yes, this is going to get quite awkward for me, especially if play is more to our right, but I will do my best. So just a quick scan of the faces out there. Pretty sure Ravens are as they were to begin the game. And one of the players who started, Eliza Hamilton, thought she might have had a shooting opportunity, but Letitia Zek, the clean sliding tackle on the edge of her own penalty area. And of course, it was about at this time, actually pretty much at this time of the game in the semi-final, Kaylee Shannon scored for Ravens and then followed it up with a cartwheel and backflip celebration. And how Ravens, many Ravens fans who've traveled here today would love to see anything similar. It was a good first half for Sydney Uni, but as they say, you don't win trophies after 45 minutes. Smythe hurls it down the line. Benora ruled to be too physical up against Shannon. So Wilfred Carroll picks up the ball with some degree of urgency. And then I think she hears the shout. She's going to leave it. And leave it for Johnson. Swings it in left-footed. Broomhead is up. Broomhead a little bit of a punch. Probably just enough for teammates help her out by completing the clearance. And the header breaks for Wilfred Carroll. And Wilfred Carroll is stopped and prevented from getting a shot away by Bieri. Now, Nicholas will A scoot away, and two options definitely to her left, but instead she goes to her right, and Petkovsky will not keep it in. Perhaps left was the option because she had Hijazi and Brewster running into a lot of space on the far side of the field. And thank you to our camera operator, Gavin, a man who was very prepared and had a spare pair of sunglasses. Thank you, Gavin. That's a lot better. So, yeah, we probably did hear the first half. There was some other speaker that didn't sound like a public address system or anything like that. And actually, I did enjoy them playing the Venga Boys at halftime. They've finally figured out some Sydney Uni fans, as that's cleared by Lim, brought their own speaker. I don't know if they've hooked it into the wall socket or it's sort of run its own power, but trying to create their own atmosphere. I mean, this is a good setup at Sydney Uni football ground as that goes over the far sideline. Maybe they just took one of the speakers from the Sydney Uni ground and brought it over here to Glenwood. As is Shannon, looking to bring teammates into play, and Sproul plays it behind Hamilton. Played wide, and I think that's Levy. VR, decent ball to Wilfred Carroll. Wilfred Carroll now, Smythe trying to overlap, and it's gotten around Nicholas. Smythe a bit centrally looking for the through ball to Shannon, but it goes back for a free kick. Very good position for Ravens. Pretty just left of centre. At 25 yards out, that kind of range. And Bailey Broomhead immediately sets about the task of setting the wall, which is going to have 5 players. And we haven't seen much from Smythe in an attacking sense, although there was some interesting looking long throw sheet hurled towards the penalty area in the first half. But it was a strong run. Nicholas is quick. Smythe was quick enough to get around her. That's led to this set piece, and it's going to be the Ravens captain, Sophie Clark. Clark. She kind of goes low, and it is no touch off Sydney Uni. So, goal kick. Sydney Uni, I mean, I think Petkovsky in there, if you think that they're front four, so the centre forward plus the 3 attacking band of 3 behind him. Petkovsky seems to be the constant as centre forward, but Nicholas, Hijazi and Rad, the 3 behind Petkovsky, kind of drifting all over the place. Now, Hamilton takes over for Ravens. Can't find Shannon in. Shannon loves to dart in behind. Okay, Shannon, her previous clubs for the Ravens, number 17. And 2 of them in this area, and there is an odd one out, because, as I said before, Ravens, she played for Blacktown City, she played for Hills United, and the other club she played for, Shamrock Rovers in Ireland. So, Kaylee Shannon also played for the Australian Schoolgirls team, so that, I think last year, part of the Australian Schoolgirls team that went and won the prestigious Dallas Cup tournament. Good touch by Via. Now looking to release Wilfred Carroll, but the Aries track the run. But it might break for Shannon. Shannon wide, but then Lim prods it away from Hamilton. Hijazi, so far the hero for Sydney Uni. It was her strike in the first half. Sharply taken. That's what separates the 2 teams. We're 52 minutes into this one, with Sydney Uni leading Ravens by a 1-0. big cheer from Ravens fans because it does look like, judging by the brisk jog by one of the Ravens substitutes back to their bench. Also, you'd see the coach Andrew Mastoris. The coach Andrew Mastoris for Ravens having a chat with the fourth official Alana Zick. So I think Ravens are going to have the first roll of the dice, so to speak, as I can see in the uni technical area. One of their coaches, Charlotte Young, discussing things. Charlotte Young, well, she is actually, from memory, the women's technical director for Sydney Uni, but she did register as a player, and she did make a couple of appearances for Sydney Uni this season. As Hamilton, that's the end of the shift for her, and Maya Braun was one of the goal scorers in the semi-final win for Ravens over Tigers. He's onto the field. I think it, at least for now, looks to be a straight swap as Maya Braun's going to the right side of the Ravens formation. As the bounce might favor Wilfred Carroll. Bieri's used her body well. Wants to run it out. But now could not. Carroll. Back to Smythe. And Smythe is anticipated, I think, by Benora. And Rad left Hijazi. And Hijazi. Now, Kofsky battles and Channing might have lost out there, but more Ravens in to support her. One of them is Sproul. Decent shoulder fake, but not that much space for Ravens. The quick ball moving was Channing. Almost got caught by Petkovsky. Now here's Levy. Now, it's going to be the first involvement for Braun, but actually not. That won't be the first touch because she is offside. Talk about as I said at the start of the broadcast, really looking forward to this one, the form of these two teams. Actually, it's Sydney Uni that's one loss in the last 14 games. For Gladesville Ravens, one loss in the last 19 games. Hijazi can't reel it in. Channing is back. And then Levy can't keep that pass in. That's a chance maybe for Uni to set up camp in the Ravens part of the field. Now, if like Wilson, oh no, I thought it would stay down, but no, Grace Williams has caught Sydney Uni offside. So as we get close to the hour mark, so generally more subs will be on the way in the next 10 minutes or so, you would think, for both teams. Well, more likely for Ravens as they're the ones chasing the game. There's some good positioning there. Petkovsky followed by the defense. Followed by Johnson. Forced a somewhat loose pass. Bieri at the scramble, but did win it. And then Bieri plays it. And isolated handball shouts. Was a big collision as Brewster tried to put the pressure on. After all that, Ravens trying to work at the left-hand side. It's Zek who'll go back. And Broomhead. Long, it's an interesting one, so Johnson needs to see we're both trying to locate both the ball and the Uni attackers as he does get it forward. Wilfred Carroll wants a shorter option. And Smythe is up. Well, Zek gets good distance on the header. Via to Wilfred Carroll. Left footer, and she uses that left foot to go direct. Now does a break for Braun, and the bounce didn't really favor, and that was smart work, possibly by Zek, or possibly Venora, I'm not sure who it was, to kind of shield the ball so it could be picked up. And then, actually no, after all that, it has to go back. There was an offside against Braun. Now, Ravens attack once again. And that'll be easy for Broomhead. And then against, again, it's Uni preventing Bieri. He's had a good shift today. Will play it round. It does stay in. And Sproul now for the Ravens. Now, it's that somewhat heavy fall, but I think no foul, so it's going to be a throw-in. Now, there's Bieri. Now a little touch round to the corner, and could be something here for Sydney. I think that's Rad. And Rad holds it up. Here's Hijazi. Left-footed cross. And then Johnson. That's going to be straightforward. She'll play it out, but Braun. Oh, good first touch. Now she'll chase this one. Broomhead does not, or opts to stay in her box, and in fact, that'll be the covering there. That's it. I think Zek. Now, is that, well, I think some people at least waited for a whistle. Now the decision, which way it'll go, I think can't trap the ball. Can't trap the ball between. Not sure quite the word, but yeah, playing the ball while you're on the ground, I think, is how it's generally understood. That's led to a Ravens free kick. And meanwhile, Sydney Uni sub coming up. So I see a number 50. I see 40-something. So the 50 would be Asher Sutton. There's a couple of players actually. It's going to be 49. So Annabella Vasconcelos, number 49, and Asher Sutton, number 50, are about to come on. So Noor Hijazi, for the time being, she is the match winner as we head past the hour mark. She's one of the players replaced. I think Georgia Lim is the other. So as we watch where those new junior players go, looks like Asher Sutton's a forward and Vasconcelos a defender. And got to defend here, and well, it was brave from Broomhead because Via was putting the pressure on. A collision, good to see both players getting up. And it's Broomhead with possession before she boots it. Johnson. And Bieri. Touch off the torso. And now scoots past the defender. And then that's a good tackle. Now Wilfred Carroll has some room, and Bieri's got to get back here. Wilfred Carroll trying for the killer ball. And it's up and away. Clark. So, as I see it after those subs, it should be, I think that's Vasconcelos, the newly introduced player who just took that throw-in on the left-hand side of that Sydney back four. Zek, Gwenora, and Bieri, the others in defense, as that is a corner for the Ravens. And my very unofficial corner count, that's 2 corners apiece. And meanwhile, see Annabelle Garbach is about to come on for the Ravens, but first we'll see the set piece. In fact, no. Ravens are going to bring her on now. So looks like, I think that's Sproul, Natalie Sproul, who has been withdrawn for Garbach. And Garbach is tasked to try and recreate her semi-final goal-scoring feats. Here's the corner. It's over to Shannon. There's a decent header. A free player that was, but the header goes wide. Possibly Smythe. And Rosewell, not the tallest player, but found space at the set piece.
Come on, Uni! Let's go!
It's always good to do a bit of viewer interaction. Thanks to the people who tune in, especially thanks to the people who give me actual much useful information. It's about Sydney Uni, but first they're on the attack. Decent move down the left. Can she keep it in? The little prod, and now big chance. Here's a chance, and it's a goal for Juliana Nicholas. And Sydney Uni lead by 2-0. And Bailey Broomhead is up from the other goal. They know how massive that is. Sydney Uni have some breathing room. There's a great run down the left. And when the ball broke to Nicholas, he was confident, knew she had time to take a touch. And the second touch is buried into the net. So Gladesville Ravens 0, Sydney Uni 2. So, as I am always grateful for players who have a different color boot to all of their teammates. I picked that right because of Juliana Nicholas's bright red boots. And not just standing out for a boot, standing out for a finishing. And a player who scored twice in the semi-final and scored for Uni in the grand final. Here's Bieri. Now Nicholas will chase this one again. She's one-on-one with Smythe. Cuts inside. How's that pass? It's first Levy into some kind of action, and that action is to concede a corner.
Let's go!
So the pre-arranged signal. Hand is raised. Here's the corner, but Channing doesn't really clear it. He'll need a second go at it. Still in the box. Wilfred Carroll at least gets it out of the box from a Ravens perspective. And now, there's this run. It's Garbage. And she has a wide option. I think that's Shannon. Hand is up from Braun. Braun in space in the middle. Shannon wants to try and improve the crossing position, and she uses her speed. Kaylee Shannon, decent ball, big lunge. Almost doing the splits. Elizabeth Bieri having a wonderful game. He stuck her right foot out. And this play prevented Maya Braun from having a close range shot. Now we're going to have a stoppage. The Uni player needs treatment. Okay, and then no physio required. Good to see. Sydney Uni about to make another sub. So Grace Treganza is going to come on. By the way, so go back to info that is given to me via social media. So thanks to Kat, give me some information on perhaps a factor in there being so many changes from the semi-final for Sydney Uni. That Kat has told me there's Sydney Uni players left for China yesterday to compete in the FISU University World Cup. So all the best to them. As is Brewster.
Let's go,
Really cleared. And Nicholas. Fouled by Smythe. Free kick. And Nicholas a little bit silly, so it's going to be some settling down here. And cards, I think, are going to stay in the pocket. So all we'll have is a Sydney Uni free kick. By the way, just on that, as I did realize, I don't have perfect memory of all the times Sydney University have gone to China to compete in the Uni World Cup, but I know they did that 6 years ago, and two of the players on that team, Tori Trumuth and Holly Caspers. So who knows, maybe there's some players on that team that'll become A-League stalwarts in the future, like Trumuth and Caspers. Anyway, back to this particular uni side, and Nicholas goes long, it's dipping, but not in time, and lands on the roof of the net. Attempted flick from Braun. Now work back. Broomhead using a left boot this time to send it towards midfield. Decent touch from Nicholas. And she tracks backwards. Now Bieri. Long from Benora. Johnson with the foot in for Ravens, but second ball picked up by Rad. Now Brewster, in awkward, which I think she's done well enough, and then brought down by Wilfred Carroll, a free kick. Substitution coming up, so it is Grace Cho-Treganza replacing Madison Van Dyke. Wonder if that is a straight swap, that would mean Cho-Treganza going into midfield. There's two in the wall, but everyone back for Ravens except Shannon. As it's clipped in by Benora, and the captain's up there. That was Brewster, but it's a catch for Coleman. He throws it out. Now Levy will get to at least halfway before being pressured. And it's going to be too long for her teammates and Bieri. And Bieri, well, Corvia stolen on the blind side and has won the throw-in. Time at least slowly starting to become the enemy for Gladesville Ravens. Now, as well, that's free kick to Sydney Uni. Now, next Raven sub is Monique Lekas, the number 28. She's up and about, ready to get onto the synthetic field as Broomhead goes long. Now, it's out for a throw, but Ravens coach Andrew Mastoris just I think imparting some last-minute wisdom to Monique Lekas before she goes on the field. Actually, I was lucky enough to see what I would call him. Yeah, I'm happy to call him NPL Women's New South Wales coaching royalty, because Stephen Peters, who is now the head coach of A-League women's side Perth Glory, is actually visiting. He's telling me before the game he's known Andrew for a long, long time, and it's actually about 15 years ago that they were coaching together at Ravens. Gladesville Ravens is Stephen Peters' first club, as a coach. He's here to support his friend, which we love to see. As Lekas is on, I think, for Smythe. Oh, actually, yes, it's Smythe is a play. I believe that's made way. And Wilfred Carroll dropping to left back for the Ravens, as this bounce does eventually favour Channing to play forward. So Lekas playing into, how can I describe this? It's kind of a more attacking midfield role for the Ravens as they chase this game, and I think Garbach is now kind of on the left side of the Ravens attack. Strong tackle there. Throw-in. Now that corner. And Johnson up from defense to take this corner. Well, Shannon is going to be the nuisance player right in front of the Uni keeper, Bailey Broomhead. In swinger coming up. To the near post, side-footed away. Into the 73rd minute now. I think it's Levy trying to prevent a Uni counter. Decent ball out, wide, Braun. Now Garbage. And Garbage, but it's a very fierce battle out there. And, well, you know, she's wearing pink boots. Sydney Uni will be tickled pink with the way Elizabeth Vieri has played it right back today. Hasn't let too much go past her. Now, oh, foul throw, I think.
Let's go, Uni!
Yeah. It's taken over by Shannon, and strong tackle there. And the Ravens now on the right side of the box. Cross. There is exactly one person calling for a handball there. And unsurprisingly, the shout is not heeded. One spectator, to be precise.
Let's go, Uni!
Uni on the move. It's a decent ball. And as Asher Sutton peels into the middle, Juliana Nicholas trotting inside as well. Cross is delivered in the general vicinity of Nicholas, and Ravens free touches and do eventually get it away from danger, but only briefly as the very optimistic shot comes in, and Coleman uses the gloves. Yes, and pretty much in the final 50. Well, entering the final 15 minutes of the 90, so 15 minutes left for the Ravens to get back into this one. And it's Sydney University leading by 2-0. The goals, as that's going to be a foul by Garbach and a yellow card. And in fact, it's going to be some treatment required. Uni physio on the field, of course, card was shown, so that player does not need to leave the field. But, yes, as I said, Uni leading by 2-0. A goal in the first half from Noor Hijazi, a goal in the second half from Juliana Nicholas. And if you're Sydney Uni today, you might subscribe to the saying, all left foot goals are beautiful, because it's two left-footed strikes that have put them in this commanding position. In fact, it's going to be a double sub, as once again, times like this, that it is good to be on the same side of the field as the technical areas. So, well, I think that's the remainder. All 5 subs, all 3 windows have been used. Juliana Nicholas enjoyed walking off the field. At the moment, well, it's her goal that gave Uni a buffer. A goal in the second half. At 47 coming on for Sydney Uni, Riley Carr. 36 is Asari McKenzie. Might have to use process of elimination. Now, Wasn't quite sure who the other player was who left the field. She might be Isabella Rad. I think I see a number 30 right in front of us. Now. Space for Brewster, and Uni not parking the bus by any means, and the flag's going to stay down here to run into the box. And possible shooting opportunity. It is straight at Coleman, but decent little shimmy to make the space for the attempt at goal there. Now I can breathe a sigh of relief. The sun has dipped low enough behind those houses. So thanks, Gavin, for the sunglasses. They really helped. Now Brewster, that's a very good ball for Carr. And Carr, first time, could be a chance, and a heavy touch. Well, I don't know, they wanted offside against Sutton. It doesn't really matter because the loose touch allowed Coleman to take over. The 79th minute here. Now Ravens 0, Sydney Uni 2. As it's decent work there. And then the flag is up. This time it's going to be an offside after McKenzie played that ball through to the left-hand side. Johnson. As long as Shannon can't really make it count. There's Chotraganza, but the Ravens will try to stop the best, but last touch off them as a couple of photographers. And I think I love the grand final days, the attention it gets. There's been plenty of photographers and other media around the field all day. But now is a Uni attack and the shot coming in, which is straight at Coleman. And now towards halfway, but Bieri once again is blocking the path to goal on her side for the Ravens. Now, again, you work it from left to right. Bieri's the overlap here, but Carr went direct. Couldn't front link up with Sutton. Now Lekas with that link for the ball for Ravens. It's Channing. Take shorter passes, but Ravens now they're not in. Let me look at the clock. They're not in kitchen sink territory yet. They're pretty close to it. Brewster. Now, trying the left side this time, Sydney Uni. And actually, despite the impetus being with their opponents, Sydney Uni still launching quite a few attacks in the most recent 5 minutes or so. As Villa plays it through. Uni back four stand firm. Now, Sutton, I think, almost got the touch. That was awkward for Whitfield Carroll. And now Sutton with one to chase, keepers out, and Coleman, good command of the penalty area, gathers it right at the edge of the box. And I think I'm thankful to that Football New South Wales staffer who's turned the lights on at the ceiling of the stadium. Because as I said, there is a game after this one, so I think that ends that'll end our grand final coverage on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel for 2025. Of course, extra time in earlier games has thrown off the schedule, but assuming no extra time in this one, roughly a 6 p.m. kickoff or thereabouts for the NPL men's under 20 grand final. What do you call that? It'll be the junior derby d'Italia between RPL Leichhardt and Marconi Stallions. And look at the camera operators here. I have not seen a commentator as of yet. And now treatment required, possibly for Channing, who's had a good game in Raven Central Defence, and yet the physios come onto the field. Now, more. And Channing, she's not looking very comfortable. Now she will need to leave the field, of course. Ravens can. The last thing they need as they chase the game is being down to 10 players. But I think that's what it's going to have to be. And Derwanda might need to keep an eye on the activity in front of us in the Ravens technical area. And it's now clocked past the 83rd minute, of course. This should result in more time added on at the end of the game. Of course, that is up to Nina Cortez's discretion. Just a recap, once again, of course, the joys of YouTube streaming. If you miss something, just click back on the stream and see what you missed. But Sydney Uni try to see out the game and protect their 2-goal lead. They are in that position because Noor Hijazi gave them the lead in the first half with the knee strike from the edge of the box, floating it over the goalkeeper, and then it was Juliana Nicholas thumping the ball home from close range in the second half. They give it a 2-0, to give them a 2-0 lead. I've just seen the commentator for the game, the NPL Men's Under-20 Grand Final. That's going to be straight after this one, and you can watch the same way you're watching this one on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. MC, yes, can confirm. MC extraordinaire James Preston will be calling the Under-20 men's game between RPL Leichhardt and Marconi Stallions for you. Now, Levy lets it bounce, and Sutton's putting the pressure on. Of course, fresh legs off the bench. Sutton's providing. And she's eased away from the ball. Oh, yeah, okay. Milford Carroll heads forward. Brewster, excellent game from the Uni captain, and a long-range shot which Coleman can watch go wide. Go short. And whatever Ravens have to do from now on has to be quick. Brewster again breaking up the play. Sutton trying to work an opportunity before Johnson gets in the way. Now Shannon. And Kaylee Shannon. As it started their runs, once again Bieri getting a foot in there. But now Wilfred Carroll and Via can turn. Via then blocked. And Brewster once again. Now, it's a decent run, and the shot will come in nowhere near the power to trouble Coleman. Levy, it's going to be too high for Braun. So safety first play there. I think that was Vasconcelos. Ravens throw-in. Time very much the enemy for the team. The team from the venue, lovingly known as the Arctic Circle by the Football New South Wales media. That curiously cold venue in Macquarie Park. Cold no matter what time of year it is, seemingly. Now outside the foot pass, decent. And now chance for Sophie Clark, and does great positioning, and well, no, the corner wasn't prevented. So late set piece, and I have to say the Ravens really need to make this one count. Movement from Park, deeper lying midfielder for Ravens, but knows time is of the essence and made a well-timed run forward to get that opportunity. No surprise, well, actually, I was about to say no. Not quite everyone back for Sydney Uni. One plays left forward, that's Sutton. The short option is covered, so in fact, well, they fake him out now, they work it short. It's direct and safe hands from Broomhead. Broomhead playing it safe, deciding to go long. Decent ball, Sutton. That's a good first touch. And Sutton, a little bit outnumbered, looking for options. One of them is Carr. Sutton wants the return ball. She does get it. Now that'll be Bieri crossing in. Well, tried to wrap her foot around it, but put in a big shift. And every player out there can be, or the players that started can perhaps be a little bit forgiven for some tiredness. There we go. Bieri's back in position anyway. There's Garbach. Finds Clark. Now, as Via tries to help it on with the forehead. There's a header from Bieri. Now, Garbach. Now, it's that was a lovely pass from Garbach. Almost found Braun. A really close shave for Braun there, but she couldn't quite reel it in. And Broomhead falls gratefully on the ball as we're in the 89th minute now. Now Garbach on another run, 3 in front of her. Garbach, little scoop pass. Shannon doesn't take it. Braun might, and Shannon, maybe a chance. Is Kaylee Shannon, and it might sneak in. So we are going to have a grandstand finish. Kaylee Shannon, in the 13th of the season. Right at the end of the game, that is going to make things interesting as it's Ravens 1, Sydney Uni 2. Kaylee Shannon, clearly a player for the big occasion. She scored a double 2 years ago when Hills United won the League One Women's Under-20 Grand Final. And it was on the grass field behind us on a day where it was about 700 degrees, curiously. But Kaylee Shannon turning the heat up on the field right in front of us. Now, be a test of Sydney Uni's composure. Very close to seeing how much time added on there will be, courtesy of the ref, Nina Cortese. Alana Zick has the board ready, the fourth official. And Uni, they're still attacking, credit to them. Bieri's well forward in this attack, but they do have to be careful, and well, there's a miscommunication there, but from a Sydney Uni perspective, at least a misplaced pass that doesn't go straight to a Ravens player, and they can get back in their defensive shape. So a minimum of 5 minutes time added on, and Sydney Uni still happy to press from the front. And that's credit to them. They haven't just let Ravens play it out from the back easily. Pretty much for the whole game, they've been organised with the press. That's credit to Charlotte Young and the Sydney Uni coaching staff. And I don't know at what point we describe Charlotte Young as a former player. I mean, they said it was heavily implied she was retiring. But as I said earlier, she did register for Sydney Uni. She did play a couple of games this year, at least. Quick throw in. Shannon, little pocket of space, which disappears quickly. Clark steps in. Here's VR. Options in front of her. VR, reverse pass. Space for Garbach. Garbach runs into a tackle. That a minute of time added on. Now, Sutton decided the best tactic is just run it as far away from the Sydney Uni goal as possible. She is stopped. Johnson. It's a good header from Cho Truganza, I think it was. Ravens, well, you know they're going to be direct at this late stage of the game. And Braun stopped. I think that was Vasconcelos with a very tidy defensive effort there. And then Levy has it broken up, but it will be throw-in. It's another reminder, crowd is building for the NPL Men's Under-20 Grand Final between RPL Leichhardt and Marconi Stallions, to be called by James Preston. But before that, Sydney Uni attack, tight angle, and off Wilfred Carroll. And Sydney Uni are going to, you'd suspect, they go in slow motion and taking this latest set piece, as Wilfred Carroll was forced to concede the corner. So I believe that's Riley Carr, who's very unbothered. Doesn't feel the need to take her quickly. There is no short option though. Yep, she will go direct. Plenty of blue and gold in there. It misses all of them. But there's a shot from a tight angle and it's hit the post. There's going to be another corner after all of that. So Uni nearly put the cherry on the sundae there. The score stays at 2-1, but Uni, I think that'll suit them just fine because the ball is at the Ravens' end of the field. And 3 minutes of time added on. As they try to keep it near the corner flag, Uni unsuccessful. Quick throw by Ravens, but too quick as Brewster takes over for Uni. And she's been great in the middle of the field for Sydney Uni today. Emily Brewster, almost $1 million performance. And now, well, full game management mode for Sydney Uni now. As the ball, try to keep the ball in that corner, but it is a goal kick. Whatever Ravens need to do, it needs to be speedy. Shannon with the flick. Forward by Bonora. Now, with a missed touch there, allows Wilfred Carroll to play it forward. Via can't really get the touch, but bundles a way through. And it's a bit narrow for Ravens, but they still have it with Lekas. We have 4 minutes and 15 seconds of time added on or thereabouts. And now this is the last chance saloon almost, and it's an overhit pass, but the spin does favor Garbach to keep it in play. Garbach, good skill. It needs a good ball as well, and Sydney Uni attack it well. Sutton trying to secure it. Best she can do is play it over the sideline. It's almost like the final play in a close game of basketball, this. If you're Ravens, you might get one chance if that, but only if they make their passes count. And still up there. So, no, they will not get a chance. The championship for NPL Women's Under-23s goes to Sydney University. They defeated Gladesville Ravens by 2-1. It was a nervous finish, but the team from Camperdown have held on. And after finishing third in the regular season, they have secured the championship trophy. An excellent performance, and they deserve these celebrations that they're having on the field right now. It was Noor Hijazi who opened the scoring for Uni in the first half from a nice strike from the edge of the box. Juliana Nicholas, their top scorer, scored her 18th goal of the season in the second half from close range to make it 2-0. And then Kaylee Shannon scored in the 90th minute or thereabouts to make it a grandstand finish, but Ravens could not, in the end, despite that late Shannon goal, make it a premiership championship double. So Gavin and I, we've got to move out quickly to make way for the new crew who are working on the NPL Men's Under-20 Grand Final, which will be held straight after this one between RPL Leichhardt and Marconi Stallions. So we'll go and make way for, and we hope you tune in for that one as well. Open up a new tab in your browser and listen to the dulcet tones of James Dawes Plus No Fuss Preston. There's the bloke from the Dawes Plus ads. He will be calling this one, calling that men's under-20 game for you. So on behalf of Gavin, our camera operator, our broadcast partner Sportscast and Football New South Wales, Eric Subihano signing off from this women's under-23 grand final. Thanks for your support of our competitions and our YouTube channel throughout the seasons. I reckon this is definitely my last game of the winter season. I will enjoy my break, but we do hope to see you again in 2026. Take care.